Welcome to Just Saying episode 16. This is our 16th week, and me, Graybeard, along with the Bromeo and Falcon. And we're now at the pointy end, or the pointy end of the start of the new season, gentlemen.
The pointy start of the pointy end. That's the one.
That's as good as it's gonna get, I'm afraid.
Hell of an intro, GB. Hell of an intro.
Okay, well, once again, I was trying to get Happy Meal to come and join us on the panel because he would be a fabulous guest. But last week, he had been with no internet for 4 days. There'd been some balls up with the service provider, didn't come back on time. The good news is that Happy Meal has internet. However, today, he has no power, been without power for 4 days. So no Happy Meal on the desk. So instead, we have, out of the United Kingdom, someone who's become quite familiar to us through RSC, and he's doing plenty work on the casting scene and the streaming scene. But Rhino Casts, hello, mate.
Evening all. As per usual in the SSA region, when you cannot find someone from inside the region, you have to get an import. That's the way it goes. So it's a pleasure to join you on the desk.
And right now, though, the percentage wise, your percentage of representation is very understated. You're at 25% of the SSA desk, which is. Either you need to do work, or more EU teams got to leave, or more SSA teams are going to sign up. One of those three options. Good evening and hello and welcome to everybody in chat. We have a bunch of people here. Yoshi was, of course, first, so well done to him. The Bromeo's in chat and also on the panel. Hello. Demonix is here. Syntax is here. Harmonic. Did I say harmonic? I can't remember, but Harmonic is here. And I think that's everybody that's made themselves known in chat. Others will as time goes on. But here we are. Signups have closed. So we have a lot to talk about because RLCS 2025 starts on Friday. Qualifying weekend. Well, for SSA, it's going to start on Saturday. We didn't quite get enough teams for a Friday start. I think for a Friday start, we need 256 teams. And Sean, despite all of your efforts, I don't think we got to 256.
Unfortunately, we didn't. But we still have a good representation from the stats that you're going to show. I mean, it's better than what I saw, what was it, 2 days ago?
Well, it's actually really, really good, but we're gonna talk about that as we get to it. I think let's get started with the first news I want to get done and out of the way is the fact that we have 1v1 show matches are back. And I have it set up in my Discord server. If you want to play 1v1 show matches, you have to get into my Discord, join, give yourself the 1v1 role, and then you will be notified on whether you are available or not, and then you can be scheduled for matches. I did that last week, and exactly 4 people said they were available. So those 4 people are going to be in the inaugural 2025 show match roster, and that is going to be, we have 4 people. First up, we have Yoshi versus Olympic, and then we have Devour versus Lankai. And the winners of those 2 matches will meet in a grand final. And that's what the show matches look like on a Wednesday night. And there is 750 Rand up for grabs for the winner and 250 Rand for the runner-up. 3rd and 4th place get high fives from me personally. And
wow.
Solid
prize.
Solid prize. More valuable.
Solid prize.
Depends on who you ask.
Who you ask and when you ask them. So make sure you get yourself into my Discord. Give yourself the 1v1 role if you want to be in future. I had a bunch of people message me after this and say, oh, how come I didn't get scheduled? And I'd specifically said, please react here if you are available, and only got those 4. So there we go. That is coming up on Wednesday. Prize pool sponsored by Virtuoso. So thank you to him. And that's going to be running for the foreseeable future. So every week, a 1,000 Rand prize pool 1v1. And now let's get to the news. Guys, the big news is that the Birmingham Open #1 signups have closed. And I think we can all agree, if we've all been on Twitter, we've all been on social media, and we know that Rocket League esports is pretty much dying, if not already
It's
dead.
absolutely dead. It's chalked.
Yeah.
I don't know why we're even sitting here, you know.
I've uninstalled the game already. What do you mean?
Wow.
What's Rocket
Okay.
League?
Wow.
How many times this week?
Well, to be honest with you, I'm on a detox from it. So I haven't touched the game in about a couple of weeks. Since last year, you may say.
Oh.
There's the cringe jokes.
Okay, Jay is also here. I did miss him in chat. Sorry, Jay, it was nothing personal. Hello, Jay. Good to have you here. Ginger Muzz has just slid into the chat as well. Let's have a look at how dead the scene is. I want to go through. First up, these are the 2024 signups for the first regional for Open #1, whatever it was called at the time. This time last year, how many teams signed up in each region? And it was the first regional seems to get the highest number of signups, as you would expect, and then it decreases slightly as the season goes on. And it has to be said, these in just I can't say emphatically for each region, but to my knowledge, certainly for EU North America, these were the highest number of signups ever.
Mhm.
And this was after the prize pool had been extended and the region unlock and all of that. This was a huge number. These were the highest number of signups, and those are pretty good numbers. EU.
No, those are dead numbers. Greybeard. They are dead numbers. Rocket League is dying.
Yes.
I mean,
Bring
APAC.
back trading.
I mean, APAC might have been a concern at 66 teams. I was very surprised that APAC came in under SSA last season.
Yeah, but what sort of countries go into APAC anyway? There's not that much of a population in the the Eastern Hemisphere. We must give them a break. There's only a couple billion people there, and that's
probably all
not
came to us.
enough. That's not enough to sustain a burgeoning Rocket League ecosystem like SSA at 102.
102, and that was huge. I mean, look, there were a lot of people from outside the region, but 102 was double our previous highest then.
Yeah, when people were young and optimistic and unaware of Team Mobula.
Well, I don't know how. We were a little bit scattered because we didn't know what to make of what was going to go on with all the regions coming in. We were in a state of panic. Now we're in a state of reluctant acceptance, probably. But how does this compare to the current signups? I went through every region and had a look at their signups. Some of them are still open, so these are not final numbers for every season, every region, because North America is still open. OCE is still open, so they're not closing quite yet. APAC's already had their first regional.
MENA's still open.
MENA, thank you very much. In fact, they might be closed or closing in the next hour. So
actually, they might be, yeah, because they start earlier, don't they?
So we'll see.
They do start this weekend.
No, they do. All signups closed today. Some just have some hours left.
Yeah.
But then obviously there were 3 regionals, I think, this past weekend. So 2025 numbers. Let's have a look. Starting with EU. So from 926, they went up to 1,462, an increase of 57%, which is wild. I mean, that is just wild.
Those are rookie numbers. A 50% increase year on year. Absolute death knell to the sport.
That's crazy.
And then North America, they've still got some hours left, maybe 7 or 8 hours left of signups, are currently up 20% over last season signups. And then South America, the scene is in massive trouble in South America because they went from 377 signups down to 340. So they're down 10% in South America. And I don't know if that's because a bunch of them.
They all moved to North America.
Yeah, exactly. That's probably accounting for the bump in the North American signups, which
Pretty
is
bad.
yeah. But then MENA, look at this increase. MENA, staggering. 161 up to 335, an increase of 108%. That is unbelievable.
I mean, 335 teams, you multiply that out by, 3 plus the sub. So you're looking at like 1,200 players. That's like the entire population of Dubai.
OCE. Now, OCE is type. They did go up, but only by a very, very tiny percentage. They went from 172 up to 175. So that's less than 0.5% increase, but an increase nonetheless. And
they will say it counts.
They will.
It always counts. It always counts. And then
that extra team in there coming in clutch.
APAC also with a 108%. No, that's wrong.
Oh.
That is definitely wrong. It's just
that is a bad percentage. Greybeard is lying to you.
Yeah. It's just under
not
100%. It's like
Yeah,
97,
but it's
96, there or thereabouts. Very close to 100. But nearly doubling up their signups. And they also have an invasion problem. I don't know how many people play APAC remotely. I don't even know if it's even possible to play APAC remotely out of EU or anywhere else in the world.
Well, I can tell you for a fact that a lot of people believe it's very possible to play APAC from Finland. That is that is the overarching theme in APAC. So
Finland.
yeah, a lot of Finns going over to APAC for some reason.
It's all the rage right now. They sent Norwegian salmon through to cook the sushi market back in the 70s, and now they're sending Rocket League players. It's honestly, and when they try out and they find out APAC's kind of hard, they send them to SSA. So
yeah.
So clearly Finland is APAC's Spain.
Kinda, yeah. Kinda, because I'm pretty sure Rounds GG are in the round of 16 in the top 16 now for APAC, and they're a full stack of Finnish players, I believe. So
do you perhaps know what sort of ping range you get from EU to APAC?
All of it.
When I saw it, it was about between 140 and 180 in that range.
Oh, that's not bad
so
at all.
like that. Yeah.
Why are more EU people not playing in APAC? Why are we getting all of them? Harmonic, grab your people. Go to APAC.
Grab your people.
Holy
yeah,
moly.
no, it's about that distance. There was a team from Poland that I saw last season, and they were playing on about 150 ping. So
that is not that. I mean,
it's not bad.
That's not bad
That's
at all.
actually really good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's playable.
Okay. Well, next up, SSA, the region we're most interested, went from 102 to 129, 25% increase. It has to be said of that. Well, we're going to get to the breakdown there, but it's, there are 12 teams that were incomplete, so it'll only be 117 that actually get seeded. And the overall number went from 3,031 to 3,471 teams. So that's in and around 10,000 players and a global increase of 14%. I mean, that when Epic, Psyonix, when they look at that, I mean, this has got to be a big metric for them.
I mean, honestly, I think it is. And you just, said that rather offhandedly, but 10,000 players, 10,500 at the bare minimum, a 3-player roster, and that's not accounting for subs. So let's call it anywhere between 12 and 14,000 players are contesting for this year's World. So we think about our scene as quite small, and it is. But when you think about 14,000 players wanting to lift the trophy at the end of the season, that really puts things into perspective.
It does, and it's I think it's something we have to keep in mind going forward. The desire to compete is growing.
Mm.
And that's not to say there are no issues. There are plenty issues. But to for even a moment suggest that A, the game is in trouble, and B, the esport is in trouble is, I think, a little spurious and a little wrong. Okay.
There are multiple different things that define that, though, and I think we need to be careful. Like from a playing perspective, from an active player-based perspective, 100% totally agree with you. These are fantastic numbers that everyone is going to look at and go, "Yep, that's great." But you know, there are other things outside of that to consider, and one of the main ones is visibility. And it feels like the restrictions are just getting tighter and tighter. This comes from the top, of course, but it
When you
just
say
feels like
Reiner,
Go
when you
ahead, go
say
ahead.
restrictions, what do you refer restrictions on what?
Like team streams, for example, they seem to be very restricted this year to only major competing or at least main event competing teams. They've tried to block out a lot of the other teams around that. Now there are some admins out there who will make those exceptions, but the standard team stream rules really benefit the main event teams rather than those who maybe are trying to get a name, trying to build from the bottom and won't be able to broadcast their
Are you talking for qualifying? Hold on, I need
for
to.
qualifying. Yeah.
I feel like I need to get some verification on that. I am just
This is what I've seen, I should say.
no,
This is
no,
from
fair
my
enough.
own personal perspective, but I
Third-party
it's
arbitration. Come, we need Yoshi in the chat to fact check.
No, I've just popped off a message. I'd like to find out if what because uh, absolutely, I know that was the case. That was the case during the off season, and that was
Yeah.
massively problematic.
Sure.
And the fact that there was no visibility, it was an absolute pain to try and. I mean, we had a laugh about it last week that we're sort of getting the results out of what do you call it? Start page, watching results on
Oh,
start.gg or Liquipedia. It was just crazy. So
yeah.
hopefully I'll get an answer on that because there should be many team streams this week, and we want as much of it being broadcast out
Absolutely.
there. And if that's an issue, I will absolutely agree with that. Were there any other issues you were perhaps referring to?
No, that's the main one. Just that I saw. I mean Yoshi's saying that he's busy in chat, which is great news. That's fantastic.
Yeah,
What does he
thanks for
say?
telling us, Yoshi. That's hugely important.
Yeah.
He's not
That
checking for us. He's
Yeah, he's like,
he's
no.
doing-
Do you know what? I'm not going to help you guys out. You know?
Oh, is that what he said?
But
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
no. He told us to go jump in the lake, basically.
You know what, Yoshi? Whatever you're doing is not important. Go and do some work for us, please. Be a good mod. Okay, you have to
whatever
earn
you're
it.
doing.
a brother busy.
Do you know
Hey,
what? This is
what's up,
important
Rumble?
in chat.
Yeah.
That's important in chat. Greybeard hates making a fuss of himself. And
Mm-hmm.
what better place not to make a fuss of him than on his own stream by saying a quick little happy birthday. I was trying to avoid it as long as possible, but congratulations. He just turned 30. And he's probably going to go pretty hard this weekend.
Well, actually, I'm on day 6 of a decarb, so I'm eating green beans and beef. So yeah, there we go. But thank you very much, Bromeo.
How much longer do you have?
Just tomorrow, and then on
I
Wednesday.
meant on this planet.
Oh God. Well, the reason I'm trying to be healthy now is so that I can double up on what I have already, which is highly ambitious, but we try nonetheless. Oh gosh. All right, let's move on now. Let's talk about SSA. 129 teams signed up. Incomplete teams are 12. The number of full SSA squads is 24. I actually wanted to show because yesterday I sent out a tweet, which I want to show because this was with 24 hours to go. With 24 hours to go, there were 103 signups. 25 were SSA, 44 EU, 3 MENAM, 10 mixed teams, 3 NA, and incomplete 18. So that was as of yesterday, and it was dire. For me, 25 SSA teams was ridiculous. I was like, no, this is hugely problematic. That has improved substantially in the last 24 hours, and the number has gone up to 41. So that is far better. However,
Good show.
there are 56 EU teams. So definitely a regional dominated by the European region. So, and I was going to say,
I gotta say, it's really cool that they're allowing SSA players to join EU too, and I mean this isn't bad. It isn't bad. It could have been worse.
it most certainly could have been worse. 56. And I was going to say maybe it's the EU B side, but I think realistically it's just EU light. Yeah. But anyway, 56 EU teams, and there
I
are.
mean,
Yeah.
41 from 25 is a hell of a lot better than what it was, 24 hours ago. So that's just fantastic. Thank you to all of those SSA people that decided to come and push back what everybody seems to call the invaders. So I hope you guys do well and good luck.
Now the lowest number, and this is important, when there was no region issues, when it was exclusively SSA, the highest number of signups we had was 59. And that was in 2022, early in 22, from what I recall. And the lowest number of signups we've ever had for a regional was 36. So, we're not vastly expanding our numbers. So it is concerning, but it is an issue and something we've spoken about and addressed, and we will talk about it some more tonight on how we grow our base, because we do have the problem of there's RLCS and almost nothing underneath. We need to build that underneath RLCS so more people come in and start competing. That's high schools, it's weeklies, it's 1v1s. We spoke about it at length, and we are going to speak about it again tonight because it is the number one priority for the region going forward in 2025. 10 mixed teams. Now, I changed the definition of mixed slightly. Mixed is because there were lots of mixed teams in the signups. Mixed, MENA, EU, like cross region that didn't involve SSA. So for those teams, I just took wherever the majority was from, I slotted them into that region. Mixed is exclusively at least one SSA player. And Rubik's team I didn't include, because I feel like they try to squeeze in under the wire by putting some random SSA player as a sub, but I kept them in as an EU player.
Trying to earn some favor.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, really?
Development.
Some guy who's going to get to sit in Discord calls or something. I was like, okay, I'm not sure I'm going to count that.
Well, they all speak Spanish, yeah.
Wild. Okay, so are there any notable mixed teams, or are we going to go through that just now?
No, the notable mixed teams are Zane's team, the Relentless, which is Willu, Zany, and Star out of EU. That's definitely notable. Bird is also a mixed team with Zeph, Gold Ninja, and I think it's
Hunter.
It is Hunter. Quite right. It is Hunter.
To be fair, I would say that any team that has two South Africa SSA players on it should be considered an SSA team, because that's a wild definition, because I mean it's Zany, Wilu, and Star. So Zany and Wilu, just add one more player and then they're an SSA team, but take it away and now it's a mixed team. Mixed sounds like 2 EU, 1 SSA, whereas I would almost say that that is an SSA team.
I am willing to do that. So why don't we quickly go through all the mixed teams? I'm actually just going to give me 1 second. So this is the spreadsheet with with everything on it. So I'm just going to go through. Hold on. I have. Oh no, never mind. Okay, so I actually want to. I think I might have given wrong information here, but I'm just going to sort this into.
What?
Yeah, exactly.
Surely not.
How dare you?
Would you lie to your viewers outright?
On your birthday, too?
On your birthday.
Yeah, because between mixed and SSA is 55. So there must and there's 10 mix, so it must be 45 SSA teams, which is really interesting. Okay, let's go through the mixed teams. So Gold Ninja, Zeph, and Hunter. That's 2 SSA players. So we're going to make it an SSA team.
You just called Bird. You know, they're not from Angola. They
Yeah. No. I'm down. So then Decimate Gaming, which is Star, Willu, and Zany, we're going to make SSA. I mean, they've got an EU sub who's also their manager, but I'm still
no, but it's like that SSA sub doesn't count.
Okay. Then we got Ghana, Sweden, and Poland. Ghana, sorry, Bromeo, that was one of those moments I told you about earlier.
I make joke.
Yeah,
maybe it moves on.
exactly. And it was just because I was sweating about the next thing. Ghana, Sweden, and Poland is definitely a mixed team. South Africa, Namibia, Netherlands, own goal orphans. So we're going to count this as SSA. I don't know any of these people, by the way. Well, Yusuf I know. Fakes Merchant I played in 6-mans yesterday, so I just got to know him. Red Rum and Mojito. Actually, I do know Mojito, so that's an SSA team. And Sphero, Kerika, Rabbit, and Super Shy.
You called that an a mixed team.
I called that a mixed team. I did. Well, because Sphero's from Switzerland, so that was why.
Isn't he in South Africa?
Makes sense.
No. Oh, I don't know. No, but he is an SSA, right? Yeah.
He played RLCS as well.
Anyway, SSA. They got the SSA stamp of approval. Carry on.
And then T-Shao, Sandwich, Eagle, and Rice.
SSA.
That is definitely SSA.
And there you go. Sorry, Yoshi. Spiro is from SSA but moved to EU.
Oh, okay.
SSA.
So he's having an identity crisis. Okay, cool. And then Reunion France is SSA.
Yeah.
And then South Africa, Greece. I guess we will say SSA.
I was going to go Greece.
And then South Africa, England, Saudi Arabia. That's mixed.
Yeah, that's pretty mixed.
Yeah,
there are no common denominators in that.
Yeah, it's just Eli.
It's either to English.
England. I love how the guy in England says, "No, I'm not from the United Kingdom. I'm from England."
Yeah,
it's a very important distinction, to be honest.
No. The whole UK thing, I had no idea how much of an issue it is there with Wales and Scotland and Ireland and it's a nightmare.
Don't talk about Ireland in the United Kingdom. You're going to have problems. Northern Ireland is in the United Kingdom.
Well, there you go.
Rhino, could you help me with this then? So if you say you're from England, which is in the United Kingdom, right? But
it is, yeah.
You know, you don't say I'm Welsh. You say I'm from the United Kingdom. I'm trying to
unless it's like the only difference is if you're playing for like the national team, in which obviously Wales have their own football team and rugby teams. But outside of that tribalism, it's very much you're in the UK if you're Wales, England. I need to get this right now because otherwise they're gonna disown me.
Maybe it's an association thing.
Yeah.
Get the clips ready, boys.
It's like me saying I'm from Cape Town if I don't want to associate myself with the rest of South Africa.
So basically Scotland and Wales and a little piece of somewhat Ireland.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean the history of Ireland you're going to have to go and search yourself because that's a whole thing about why there's Northern Ireland and Republic of Ireland.
All I know is that the only time Scotland is ever in the UK is when Andy Murray is in the Wimbledon finals.
Oh,
that is that is accurate.
Okay. Then we have I don't even know how to say this team's name. Yuande. I don't know what that thing is, but it's Reunion France.
Yeah, they didn't want people to be able to say their name, which is fine. But SSA, yes.
Okay, so that means mixed teams with only one non-SSA player is 1, 2. Only 2. So that puts us up at 53. 53 SSA teams.
Come on.
Which is only 3 less than the EU.
Hey.
So there we go. Suddenly the numbers look much more better.
So much more improved.
Much more improved. Okay, then rounding this out, there are 6 MENA teams. Only one full Saudi Arabian team. The rest are sort of a lot of North African, and with a few Saudis sprinkled in here and there. But one Saudi team, and then overall 6 MENA teams. 3 North American teams. Good luck to them. 1 SAM team, and very good luck to them. So there we go. That is the breakdown. And now in fact, let me rework the numbers now just to make it look better. So SSA now becomes 53 and mixed becomes only 2, which is wild. And
We wait
looks
for the numbers.
And we wait.
we wait. I know, because now my brain
Gabe
has
is
to
doing some
catch up
math.
with my brain has to catch up with everything. Okay, there we go. So that's
Makes a big difference. Yeah.
it makes a huge difference. So 53 SSA ain't no bad.
Not the worst. Not the worst at all.
And then notable rosters. I don't know if you guys have had it's the signups just closed, so we really haven't had time to kind of put together who we think might be formidable. I did see Treefork. Now, Treefork is a guy I cast either in RSCEU or in Uni Rocketeers. I can't remember which, but Treefork, Sushi, those were names I was like, ooh, they've come to SSA, but which kind of surprised me because those were names I thought we would see on the EU scene, but they're playing here. But outside of that, between the 3 of you, I don't know if any rosters caught your eye.
Let's
Cosmico.
Yeah, no, definitely Cosmico. I'm just looking at other teams that might be starting their world tour with SSA. No, look, I think Cosmico is a great place to start because, Sean, just take me through who's in that team. It's Wordy.
It's Werty, Cam, Guns, and Happy Meal.
That's absolutely amazing. And Happy Meal dodged another bullet because Greybeard would have asked him about it tonight.
Yeah.
But how is that for a team? Wordy, Cam, Happy Meal, Guns. That is pretty much, the limitless kryptonite if we ever saw it. So if there's a team that I'm rooting for this season, to possibly go all the way, especially up against Limitless. I have no idea how we're going to be doing up against some of these unknown EU rosters, but
Yes.
this is an incredible team. And had there not been any EU signups, this is what we'd be talking about right now, because this is a giant killer team. And I don't want to hype them up too much because the pressure will be there. But all 4 of those players are incredible.
Well, let me probably.
the cool thing for me to also see is Skulk G coming back as well, which I haven't seen him around in Rocket League for what? Maybe the last 2 RLCS seasons?
He featured big in the first one, a little bit in the second. He was already sort of talking about retirement, but he's there as the sub. So he's like, I think he's saying, only call me if it's really urgent. But Tristan Nitro Zyro. Now Nitro's been around, and I don't know if this is the right team for him to be on to have his breakout, but he's like a real SSA bubble player that can kind of burst out there and burst onto the scene and make a name. But I don't know if this is the right team for him. But I'm hoping we see great things from Nitro.
We'll have to see. But that team has potential, but we'll have, at the end of the day, for me, I'll have to watch them play, in all honesty. I can't make my judgments based on just the names alone at the end of the day.
Fair enough.
They could surprise us. They could be unfortunately lose or go out on the first day. You never know.
My favorite roster
Mm.
is this one. I can't tell you how I actually almost shed a tear when I saw this. I was so excited. Skill Steel with Devour and Ravi. To have these 2 youngsters under the tutelage of Skill Steel is just too beautiful for words.
Honestly, it is. It's absolutely fantastic to see Skill Steel, jumping in with these relatively young players. And we say relatively young because we've been calling them young for like 2 years now. So
Okay, that is true. But 2 years later, they're 15. So
yeah, I mean they're still
Yeah.
they're still young. So I think that this is going to be a brilliant formative season for them. I'm not sure how they're going to do in the overall scheme of things. I don't know how they're going to do up against EU teams, but this is a good side, and if they spend enough time grinding together, and it isn't just a summer for what
Mm,
sign up. I think that they can do well because Skill Steel's been around in the scene for a very long time, possibly longer than Devour and Ravioli have been on this planet. And I think that they have a good chance to pick up a lot from Skill Steel, and that is the important thing: is the skill transfer.
mm, yeah. Pun fully intended.
Hey.
And then, of
I mean, what
course,
Yeah.
what I am happy to see. Sorry, I know
go,
I'm cutting you off
go,
too
go, go.
quick, but I'm it's complete. There's a what I like seeing now is that there's a lot of names that I've seen in the recent RSC that are now teaming up with
Yeah.
maybe players that they've played with in RSC, or they joined another team with other players, which is it's actually really cool to see, which I'm
Mm.
happy about. I also saw Dalton is subbing for a team,
Dalton
which
shouldn't be
is
subbing. He
like
should be
him.
playing for a team. I like him's brother.
Like,
Okay,
yeah.
well, we're going to look at that in a second then. Death Cloud Esport picked up Bigfoot, Jeff, and Strutic with Flosi as the sub. Now, Jeff is the big name there with Bigfoot and Strutic. Strutic was teaming with Nitro for VS Gaming, and I was very impressed with what he did. It was also with Douglas. Now, I've got to see where Douglas is, but this is a team with potential. They've got to go out there and make it happen on the pitch. So it's kind of too early to be calling big things for them, but a team I'm definitely watching. Now, Death Cloud Esport, the owner of that, messaged me about some stuff, and I was amazed to see that he and I were talking 4 years ago. He's from EU, and he was starting. He wanted to, and he was very young, wanting to get into esport and stream and cast, and I was helping him with some stuff. And now here he is with an org and picking up this team. He's incredibly excited with this roster, and I think we may have got them a coach. I'm waiting on details, but I think I put them in touch with Dijon out of the UK. So hopefully he will get on board there as their coach. But that's one I'm looking at, and then another is T-Shao and Eagles team. Now T-Shao.
Oni
Now
no Jitsu.
Pony no Jutsu or T-Shao and Eagle were winners for Pony no Jutsu on a very recent LAN in Reunion. And they had teamed with Wilu for that one. And they've picked up Rice. I know nothing about Rice other than the fact that he's out. It says United Kingdom, but I do know that he is out of Wales. And then Sandwich is their coach, who's also from the U. He's been in a sort of on the peripheral of the SSA scene for a couple of years. So
Yeah.
I wish I knew more about Rice, and I don't know if there's anyone from Reunion who knows him. But hopefully they can do things. T-Shao, another one of those, and Eagle was okay last season, but watching him on that LAN, his game has improved markedly. So I'm hoping. Reunion has always been the step brother to South Africa, and I'd love for Reunion players to stamp their authority on the SSA scene this upcoming season.
I think that would be cool to sing. I mean, we were talking about Reunion players, being, this whole untapped market, and for such a small island, they produce a hell of a lot of Rocket League players, and they're still doing it.
Mm.
And I just think it's really, really cool to see. And Teshao obviously grabbing headlines because, he was one of the youngest people to ever have signed up for RLCS. Is that correct?
Yes, he was. He holds the record for the youngest
holds the
player
record.
in an RLCS main event.
And he's come a long way, and I'm really excited to see where he's going. And I think, I'm not sure how this team is going to do because it's an unknown third, but I wish them all the best in this upcoming season because we need as much participation as possible, and that's a fantastic start.
And then I see you were correct, Sean, in that Dalton is sub for, well, according to Pandacity or Pandacity, if you're AI, Dreezy, Clippy, and Minoto. Now, Minoto, we've another one we've kind of hyped up, but he's still got to prove himself on the scene. Clippy is a player, one of those players, and I talk about them often, who were regulars in my lobbies, who's surpassed me by some distance. And a team with potential. I just don't know if they're ready for the big stage yet.
Who was Dreezy went under a different name during RSC.
Yes, and I'm
If
trying.
anybody in
It was
if
an. It
anybody
was.
in chat knows that,
It was a
that would be
very,
cool.
a very ordinary name, like Michael or
Mark.
something. Mark. I think it might be Mark.
Was it Mark?
I think it
Was
might be Mark.
I don't know.
Yoshi will know if he's not too busy with six-man stuff. Revoke, to answer your question, the number on the far left is just the start.gg ID number. So that's their reference within there. Any other rosters you guys have seen?
Let's have a quick little squizzy.
It's tough.
Unity Esports also picked up
Unity.
a new issue. It's a bit of a change.
A very interesting roster because it's kind of a, well, Olympic on any roster is always interesting. Yoshi as the sub, Technic, great. I mean, Technic I think has been with Unity for a long time, and then Defunct, a veteran of the scene.
Yes. I think the playstyles they kind of work because Technic is actually such a solid player. I mean, he's very underrated, in my opinion. With Olympic and Defunct, they're both like these crazy ass frontliners the whole time. So having a solid defender, I would maybe say, as Technic would be really cool for them, I think. So I'd like to see how they do. I don't know if they go all the way, but I think they should do.
The answer is no, but they'll that's how far can they go? I mean, the next
It'll be a
big
fun
question.
watch.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the next question is this: we're not going to have 6 days of RLCS because of the numbers. So we're going to have Saturday, Sunday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So 5 days. So the first target is you got to make day 2 because it's 32 teams. So out of the 117 that will start on Saturday, only 32 make it to Sunday because that's when the double Swiss is. I'm correct in saying that, right?
That's
yeah,
correct.
so then it would be a one team in a room of 4. So look around you, boys. You know, if each of us represented a team, only one of us would make it through.
And I love the fact in EU it's a big thing, and obviously because the numbers are so much bigger, and North America where you can say the fact that you make day 2 is a huge step in the right direction. If you make it to day 3, the last 32, that's huge, and then of course main event. But I think for the SSA team scene, and specifically SSA teams, making day 2 is a great start. And importantly, you make day 2, you're getting paid. So that's a big one.
Just having a look at the teams here. I see White Rabbit Gaming with WeCast.
I was going to shout out White Rabbit actually as well.
Yeah. I haven't seen Galaxy in the scene for a little while, so I'm glad that he's back in it. And
there was a little
that is a pretty solid team.
There was a little bit of drama, controversy. I don't know, because Galaxy was with BTF Esports.
He was,
and then got sniped by White Rabbit Gaming. So and then Marnie is no longer on that roster. I don't know. Well, he must be because that's a complete team. So he must be their sub. I know he was looking for a team last minute and sort of came in and replaced Marnie. And Galaxy is fantastic. Galaxy, one day he's going to play to his potential, but I think his mentality in the game might be his letdown. And Heatzy I love and I really wish he does very, very well this season.
Here's another 2 teams for you. One is this team called Trifecta. That is Eliakim, 6 and Kexi, which I think is going to be really, really cool. I think that 6 is the sub, so it is Valid. I'm not sure about Valid. but I know that Eli and Kexi are absolutely massive. Kexi,
He's a
playing out of
strong
the
player.
UK, played in this year's RSC as well, SSA. Really stand-up guy, and I'm glad to see him compete here. He's one of the few players that I welcome in with open arms, because he's served our scene.
Yes.
And so best of luck to Eli, Kexi, Valid, and Six, because they are a truly, truly mixed team.
Yes.
Right there: South Africa, England, UK, Saudi Arabia.
Well, you've highlighted one of the two. You've highlighted the two
Yeah.
mixed teams after our revision.
Yeah, no, 100%. And the second team I want to highlight, it's got a couple of good players on it. One is Sweaty, other one is Good Die For. I see Darth is back on it.
Yeah, he's
and
back
Snowy.
in Atlas.
Yeah,
Well,
so that's
Who could that be?
news.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty obscure team. They're not as good as Cosmico, but they could go pretty far this season.
Interesting that Darth is there at
Oh.
the sub, and I think that's.
Look right below them, the team below them.
Oh yeah, the team below. We got to go morning food, which is Nokra, which for those of you is Archeon backwards.
Retired player and
yeah.
Snoozy.
Now Snoozy frustrates me because Snoozy's younger. Snoozy's only 16, and he could be one of the greats. But he's into Rocket League. He's not. He's kind of here and there, and this is clearly a team just out there having some fun. And who was I talking to the other day? I don't know if it was Happy Meal or somebody said that Archeon could have been the best player in this. He could have cleared to die for, but he just. He's a little bit lackadaisical. I don't know, having some fun.
I don't know about that one.
Hasn't never committed completely to the game.
And he's one of those players that's dipped off as, like, remember Zero? I remember going up against them in VS and getting absolutely curb stomped. Team SRZ.
Yes.
And after Team SRZ, I never saw him again. And I find that's wild, because one day they're here, next day they're not. And some give really, really long "I'm retiring" speeches and post all about it on Twitter for 2 seasons, and then fire up a team called Morning Food. So I think there's levels. We must give props to the guys who quietly dip out as well, because they didn't get these long inundations on Twitter or anything. And I wonder how many players have just one day said, "I'm not playing Rocket League anymore," and then didn't. So
I mean, there's Mr. Low. It's Skill Seal's idol for unretiring. So
Skill Seal says that with coaching, Archeon carried us to a regional win. With which team, Skill Steel?
Yeah,
there was another team.
And
What are your guys' thoughts on Genesix?
I want to talk about Genesix.
We're going to cut. Okay, before we get to Genesix, Serenity then says Archeon back in the day had aura. So with Nexa, there we go. Nexa. Oh, of course. I was trying to remember, Skill, because I was thinking about Orlando, and I was thinking about what other team? Nexa. Of course, it was Nexa. Let's talk about Genesix. So let's start with you, Reiner. What did you want to say about Genesix?
I think you just look at those 3 guys in front of you, and that says quite a lot. Daps, Friction, Declan. I mean, these guys, they've definitely got we know them in this scene now. They've started to grow their names, and I think they're hungry for really wanting to improve. I really like the makeup of this roster. Actually, I think it could do some damage that we maybe aren't expecting.
I mean, Friction was the pioneer trifecta, was he not? He was
Correct.
on the team with trifecta last season with a guy from EU, or was it Mina and
Mina and EU? No, it was Mina and EU.
Yeah.
No, big ups to them. It's a very potent team. I mean, we know the credentials of all of those players, and they should be expected to finish top half of anything.
I think they have a synergy together as well. I'm sure those 3 have
Totally
played
agree.
together a couple times. So they actually might do quite well this time. This
I hope they do.
This split.
I'd love for them to be in the GSL stage. I'd love for them to get like
Top
top
16,
16 minimum,
yeah.
and then
Yeah.
surprise a lot of people.
I think they got to be there, and to do Genesix proud, because Mega Boom has been fantastic in this scene, and it is his last. He's shutting down his esports operation, so hopefully they can go out with a bang there. And then Rowan, it did look like, yeah, someone asked in chat if Rowan got a team, and he is on. No, that's not
team
Rowan. The one
below.
below. Bijou Emerald. Emerald. It's French, so you only say half the word. So I'm sure it's Emerald. And so with
That was good. That was good.
L with that guy and with KBM Enjoyer, I don't know either of those players, so I'm not sure what their capability is.
I've got some questions here. So I've seen Bijou a couple of times. If anybody from Reunion is counting how many Bijou teams have been signed up for RLCS, I would love to know that. And anybody who is representing Xenon right now, also in the chat, tell me how many teams you guys managed to put together, because I've seen it a couple of times, but I would like the official number, just so I know the hard work that you guys are doing, because that is very cool. And but I've seen Bijou a lot. I feel like it's
Fantastic is the
basically
same. They have a couple teams.
Pandacity as well.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
I think
But
there was a
I feel like
Pandacity.
Pandacity is Xenon. I feel like they're the same WhatsApp group.
No, probably, but like they're two different orgs, should we call it? But Zenon has a couple teams. Like there's even an Endeavor, which is a bunch of, I don't know how many times they've played in RLCS, but there's Quester, Kalamatin, and Lonely J playing for Zenon. Endeavor, which we'll see. Young team, I suppose. We'll see how they do. And Kalamatin is Velocity Neonics, for those who may know him as that name.
And there was a comment in chat where somebody said Phalliser clears, and I'm going, why were you talking about Phalliser? This is like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and I was trying to see what it was in reply to. Phalliser clears, but Yoshi, you don't even know Phalliser. I mean, he was before you were around.
Man is talking about urban legends and myths at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
There was even a proper Capes name drop as well.
Yes, now we reaching into the very back of the closet. Okay, fine.
I saw in chat Lankai was asking if we're going to talk about the other mixed team.
I was going to bring this up. Yeah.
Okay, well let's have a look at Lankai's team. This is
He just wants some mention, doesn't he?
Of course,
Lankai, here's your mention.
But you talk about someone who's grinding.
Lankai.
You talk about someone who is literally like grinding week to week. Lankai is really trying to improve. So,
I mean, if you're going to want us to take you seriously, Jolof and Meatball, as a team. Wait. So, Lankai. Yeah, Lankai is Ghana, right?
Yes, he is Ghana.
Yeah. So he's Ghana.
And I'm assuming Jollof is I just took a stab that that's the Ghanaian
Don't
dish.
be like that. That is Poland's national dish.
Oh, is it?
No, I'm completely making that up. I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
Jollof is a rice dish that's normally from like North Africa. So,
so it is Ghana. And then meatballs, I don't know. Sweden
meatballs are Polish.
Sweden are famous for
Swedish.
meatballs.
Swedish, yeah.
Oh, we
Is it?
Wait.
No one in the team except Lankai. That's the.
Are we not allowed to call them meatballs if it's made outside the Sweden region of Europe? What do we call them? Like boiled meat?
What? What the hell are you
talking about anymore? You've gone off the rails.
It's champagne. You cannot call it champagne if it's not from the Champagne region of France. It's a deep.
Oh, I see.
Gray beard. You need to get in there.
Thank you very much, Eddie. Eddie, for the follow. Good to have you.
I will say this is a sad team name because they've not given any credit to the Polish, the alternate. There's no.
No,
trying to think of a Polish.
He's the alternate, so he doesn't get to eat. Where is Loxley from? Because he didn't put a country in start. So Lankai.
Yeah, Lankai, tell us, where's Loxley from?
Yeah, Lankai.
Lankai,
we're talking to you, man.
Lankai, we need.
He is in chat. He's talking about Jollof. So
Yeah, he's telling us about the rice, but not about the origin of his sports.
But Lankai is moving to EU, so if he signs up for RLCS again next split, it's going to be he's going to be an invader.
For the EU, yeah.
Man, imagine, living long enough to see yourself
Norway.
become the
Norwegian.
enemy.
Loxley is from Norway.
Norwegian or Norwese?
Oh, no way, bro.
Yeah, Norway. Okay. Okay,
terrible.
cool.
I should go to bed.
All right, I think that wraps up. I think the immediate.
Oh, but I saw Serenity's also in a team with Tweaks.
Oh,
of course.
Oh yeah.
So
I feel like this is an RSC finals team.
yeah,
Feels like.
Tweaks.
Oh wait, Rise Esports, Rise Guardians, and Rise Third Team. We also need to have a chat about your naming conventions because they're gonna ask you to change your name, bro.
Now tell me, Serenity's in chat. How far do you see yourselves getting, Seren?
Tweaks is actually such a good player.
Tweaks is huge. Tweaks is another. There's a bunch of people who are on that can have breakout years. Jeff is obviously one of them. Stratic is another. Nitro is another. Duckless is another. Tweaks is definitely one of them.
I need to ask this question because they say it's Rise Third Team, but what about Rise Guardians? Are they the second team? Because I feel like if Mercury, Nuke, and Genie went up against Tweak, Serenity, and Solo, it'd be pretty close. So why is Rise the third team? Because I don't recommend
know,
other than Freezy, I don't. Oh, and Ender. Yeah, no, Rise Guardian should be the third team. Sorry, Ender.
Damn.
No, I agree. I agree with that.
They were the third to arrive. Let's put it there.
Okay, that makes sense, Greybeard. But
Serenity says he wants top 16.
Yes.
Top 16.
Anything less than top 16 will be disappointed. You got huge people to get through. But hey, listen, I'm right behind you. That'll be fantastic if you make there. And then after
Yoshi saying he needs to work on his consistency, like Yoshi made second place in RSC and Tweaks didn't.
You're dishing out smack this late in the
Wow.
episode.
Wow.
Maybe it's just an observation. Easy. Let's not make drama unless it's actually them.
What jabs do I get them?
Now
you had a point.
Yeah, I had after all the pre-season back and forth and noise, only one EU team's actually coming here physically, as far as I know, unless anything is changed, and that is VK's team.
I thought they were an APAC team.
Do you know where they are potentially staying, Greybeard?
Always in Cape Town.
I'm just asking for a friend.
No, they're staying in Cape Town. Where in Cape Town, I don't know, but it won't
be unfortunate if they actually did break a leg.
Jesus, sure.
Wow, the lighting.
Wow.
Quite,
I'm not saying anything.
He's over here, officer. He's over here.
Yeah, no, he has an alibi, I swear.
I was with Bromeo the whole time.
In Joburg. What?
Somewhere close to the 80K arena, no doubt.
Okay. You'd be unfortunate if ATK Arena had a power cut.
Yeah. Tough times.
That's a better threat, I think.
Yes.
Exactly where it is too.
Yeah. Non-violent. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Be really unfortunate if someone put 95 in the diesel generator. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, no, it's okay. You'll just see me in the background with a hood.
All right, that's going to wrap it up for our roster talk. There will be more roster talk, obviously, next Monday, because by then we will have, I don't know if the final day 4 or day 3 in our case brackets will be out. The Friday, the GSL brackets will be out, or
they
matchups. By next Monday.
I can pretty much guarantee they will not, based on the other region.
And that's fair enough. But we can at least talk about who made it through to the top 16. That'll be next Monday. And moving along, I think our next thing to talk about, we spoke about this at length last week, but I wanted to bring it up with Rhino here. The fact we have to address the whole of SSA region, because we're still only getting around, well, if we add everybody in there, 53 SSA teams. We need a lot more. And in order to have a lot more in RLCS, we need a hell of a lot more in high schools. We need a hell of a lot more in other local competitions. And or just local things going on. And Rhino, if you can see that list there, these were some of the things we thought of that is going to improve the whole region. We need more sponsored events. We need a better and growing six-mans. We need the imports need to be scrimming with us. Great local tournaments, high school Rocket League, communities, coaching, orgs, reaching the player base. And I would be keen to get your thoughts and input on what makes an entire region better.
Oh, so many things. So many
spot.
things. Yeah, that is on the spot. That is putting me under pressure.
On the spot. Solve our problem, Rhino.
Right. Here is how you become a main region in Rocket League. This is how you do it.
Get better than EU.
Just get good.
Honestly, just improve, man. It's not difficult.
Not hard.
It's all about the level of competition and the eyes on the product. These are the two biggest things that I think make a solid region. So it's all well and good that you have these tournaments, that you have these in-person tournaments or these online tournaments. If there's not eyes on that tournament, no one knows it's happening, then no one can be inspired to go ahead and join the game. No one can be inspired to try out Rocket League. It just won't happen. It always runs hand in hand. And this comes right from the top. This comes from those orgs you've mentioned. This comes from the sponsorship to try and get better talent on screen to be able to bring these events to life. This is where the kind of main regions are happening. I mean, you look at CSL in NA, that is arguably the largest tournament below RLCS that runs consistently. It is that college scene over in NA. And they get some of the absolute best talent, the best casters in NA to cast over that tournament. People watch it as if it is RLCS. People watch it like it's the pro scene. So that is where it comes from, is being able to I don't think I can add anything necessarily to this list. I think that list is right. It's just making sure that the targets that we put, that the way that we carry out what we're doing is correct and reaches as the most people as possible.
Now I'm having a meeting with VS on Wednesday to talk. I don't think the final plan for VS has been approved by Telkom just yet. I'm obviously waiting for everybody to get back. With any luck, there has been an approval by Wednesday, but we want to look at the scene. That's going to be huge. And the point you make, Rhino, is huge in that VS is a great competition, but nobody knows about it until the LAN arrives toward the end of the year. So all of that has got to be pushed and broadcast and streamed and hyped up all the way through the year so that we get hundreds of people coming to watch the LAN. So it's not just the players and a couple of players and their girlfriends, for those lucky enough to have one, and a few family members coming to watch the LAN. We have hundreds of people there, and it's all being hyped up, and our viewership numbers are bigger than the CS:GO final at the Comic-Con LAN. And then I'm desperately trying to find the tweet, and I haven't been able to, but the community guidelines have been relaxed around what you can get sponsors, like how sponsors can be rewarded for third-party events, non-Psyonix Blast events. And I think that's going to be huge. If we think about ACGL, they have a weekly Rocket League tournament, which six people show up for week in and week out. It's terrible. But if we can get some prize pool in there and some hype around that, and it's got to have a prize pool, but a prize pool that makes it worthwhile for your Champ 1s, Champ 3s, your lower level players to participate in, but not so high that your higher level teams will come in and just demotivate everybody by taking all the cash. So I think there are opportunities there. Things like the 1v1 show matches, which was starting from Wednesday, and with some support from Virtuoso, as we mentioned at the start of the stream. and others. There've got to be more and more and more of those sorts of things. There just isn't enough. There is absolutely not enough between the very base and RLCS. And we spoke about it last week, where there are a lot of low-ranked players coming into RLCS, and it's great, but I hope they just don't get demotivated by playing. Saturday is going to be all best of three. So you're going to play 2 best of threes, and thanks for coming. And you're getting beaten 12-1, 12-1 in each game. It's a little bit tough.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and but I think if you sign up to an open qualifier and you are at that level, I think you kind of know what you're in for. You know the level that you're at. You know the level that the players around you are. I think it would be a surprise to me if any players kind of went in at that level expecting to take home. Like their goal at the end of the day is maybe we can make one game close. Maybe we can take a game to OT, or maybe we can take a game off someone. Wouldn't that be cool? Like
Yes.
that's what they're fighting for at the end of the
Yes.
day. And I want to point out the third point from the bottom on the screen still is coaching. Like I've just been thinking about it now. We actually don't have too many like A-tier coaches in the scene at all, let alone people who even just know the game and can help out. So if you are one of those top tier players, if you are one of those players who is making even top 32, is
If
getting
y'all
through a few
don't follow
rounds,
Graybeard,
it would be
you need to
so
get in.
beneficial, not just for the people that you're coaching, but also for yourself to go ahead and coach someone who's like C3, GC1, somewhere around there. So not only do they improve at the game, they're learning, they're progressing, you're also learning about yourself. You're taking your mind somewhere else. You're being a bit more analytical. It works both ways. Coaching is not just a one-way street where you're helping the person that you are coaching. There is more to it than that. And I think we really need to get more people involved in helping the lower level players and teams improve through the system. Certainly the younger players.
Yep. Solid point, and very correct. And Kamikaze, thank you, A, for following, and B, welcome to the chat. Good to have you. And I think that is pretty much going to bring us toward the end. But I would like now to take a moment, Rhino, because I know you're all on fire to team stream and stuff. So this is the floor is yours to punt out there.
Oh man, put him on the
spot twice in 2 minutes. Wow. This is this is a trial by fire, this one right now. But yes, OQ1 certainly for SSA. I am available for team streams, currently weighing up options as to who I will be whose run I will be bringing to life. So if you are a team, if you have an org, if you don't have an org, it doesn't really matter to me. If you are hungry and you want to make that top 32, top 16 kind of position, then I want to bring your SSA run to life. Please get in touch with me, RhinoCast11 on Twitter. You can DM me, or my Discord is the same. And I would love to do some team streams for OQ1 certainly. And then if it goes well, maybe we'll do a few more. But we're sticking with OQ1 for the moment.
I just think it must be pointed out. He's not a player. He's a caster.
I'm not a player. I'm not going to play for you. And I think Romeo has seen me play, and yeah, that's why he's vouching for that. Yeah, it's
and
it's,
I mean,
it's rough.
I'll sub for any team as well if you need me. I did get my diamond rewards last season, but yeah, no, Rhino, I hope to see one of your team streams because crackcast as you should be covering SSA in its greatness. So I'm pretty excited for that, and for Sean to do his casting debut because he's been threatening for it for the longest of times. Look at that face. It was meant for radio.
And if you didn't catch Rhino's Discord, Twitter, whatever details, get in touch with me. Send me a DM and I will put you in touch with Rhino. I'm
in your server now as well. I'm in your Discord server.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah. There you go. If you go to my Discord server, you can find Rhino there. And Kamikaze, please DM me, and I will put you in touch with a team that would be keen for a session of coaching. Thank you very much for that. And then now we come to our final segment, which is notable birthdays in.
Are we going to do this, Greybeard?
Absolutely, we're going to do this. And
doing it.
and he got mentioned last week, but we'll mention him again because he was in the future last week, but now he's in the past, and that is, if this will please. Oh, there we are. Now they're all just coming up. Oh
Bam,
God.
bam, bam.
This is ruining it for me. Oh God, it's
That's now it's gone now.
my assistant's
Gone now.
letting me down.
It's not their birthday any longer.
Okay, we're going to start. 31st of December, it was Dillawave out of Reunion Island. It was his birthday, so happy birthday, Dillawave! And then somebody we haven't seen in a while, and that is Jota, who was instrumental in casting in our scene in our first and second seasons. I messaged her directly. She didn't respond, so I think she's doing other real life stuff. But Jota, if you ever get to watch this, happy birthday to you. And that's the wrong animation, but hey, why not? And then we have 3 birthdays today, which is unbelievable. 6th of January, Hamburger, who retired at least 2 seasons ago. He turns 25. Hamburger, wherever you are from us, happy birthday. And then coach for Cosmico. Who's Cosmico's coach?
LDC.
Then it is LDC's birthday. He is also 25 today. LDC. And then last, because it was already mentioned already, but so I won't ignore it. It is my 53rd birthday today. So a big happy birthday
Congratulations
to me.
Right.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
And what that means, in case you were wondering, is that I have experienced every day of the year 52 times and 14 leap years, 29th of February's. That's
how many of that is in like Rugby World Cups? Because that's sort of how I measure my age.
probably, yeah, exactly. Well, less than that. No, it'll be less than 14 because we've only been doing Rugby World Cup since 95.
No, the first one was 91. I think
We only count from the first time South Africa was in it, bro.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair.
There's also as many SSA teams as Greybeard's age now.
Hey. One SSA team for every year that I've been alive. Okay. Not quite sure what to make of that. And I think that brings us to the end, guys. The big news is RLCS. I'm hoping that the news week by week is not just going to be RLCS. It is going to be all these other things in the Rocket League community in SSA. I'd like to get a lot more reunion news being brought in. And then, of course, the 1v1 show matches, other local tournaments. But the focus of this podcast for the coming year is going to be growing Rocket League in SSA and getting us to the point where we can chase away all the EU people who are playing on high ping, and then we'll worry about the ones who actually come here, and then we'll go, okay, how do we get into a top 16 at a major? How do we get into it? Well, I think we already are by just sheer virtue of being in, we have a spot there. I think that's how it works. But into, top 12, top 8, top 4, and then one day, maybe even an SSA winner at a LAN before I retire in my 60s at some time. But there we go. And Rhino, thank you for coming to hang out with us tonight.
Been a pleasure. Been an absolute pleasure. And I also look very much, I will be there at the Birmingham Major in March. So I will absolutely be representing SSA. I'll be flying the flag, cheering on whoever the representative is who comes out of SSA, making sure that they get all of their flowers. And I'll tell the same to all of my friends. So
now,
we'll be supporting the underdogs.
I was making a point of going to all the lands, but I didn't go to London because if there's no actual South Africans or reunionees or somebody from the region there, I just, it's a lot of money to go. So I'm not sure that I'm going to go but as soon as there is a player who comes from this region on a LAN, I will absolutely be there. But from me, Bromeo, Falcon, and Rhino Casts, peace! We will see you next week. Bye!